Hello, welcome to D-Transit and welcome to another This Week in Transit episode. This week we'll cover Atlanta pulling support for a rail line, increased performance in New York, support for a new rail line in Maine while one is killed in Minnesota, a 2-week-long strike in San Jose, support for Amtrak Cascades in the Pacific Northwest, a new train for France's TGV, and a new transitway underway in New Jersey. If you enjoy this series, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's start with This Week in Transit. We'll start in Atlanta, where Mayor Andre Dickens on Thursday revoked his support for the first phase of the Beltline light rail alongside the East Side Trail. For those unaware, the Beltline is a 22-mile system of trails, parks, and greenery connecting 45 different neighborhoods across the Atlanta area. One of the visions of the Beltline was to create a light rail system that ran alongside the entire Beltline walkway, creating 22 miles of walkable light rail that would connect the entire system. In a surprise to the City Council and MARTA, Mayor Dickens pulled his support for the first portion of the light rail along East Side and asked for the focus to be redirected to connecting the city streetcar to a new infill station. In the same conference, Mayor Dickens also introduced a plan to enhance transit access and development in Atlanta, particularly on the South Side. Dickens' announcement prioritized starting the Beltline light rail system alongside the South Side corridor, as well as expansions of the service to the Atlanta streetcar, linking it to the Beltline via the Streetcar East extension. We move to New York, where the two busiest commuter rails in the country, Long Island Railroad and Metro North, are seeing increased performances in the month of February. The MTA revealed that LIRR achieved a 96.4% on-time record in February, an all-time record for the month. LIRR also saw an increase of 617,000 riders in January 2025 compared to January 2024, and is now carrying 85% of 2019 pre-pandemic ridership. Metro North recorded an even more impressive 99% on-time record for the week of February 24th to March 2nd, the 9th time since 2023 that this occurred. Metro North also saw an increase of 13.8% in ridership during that same week, as opposed to the week prior. Now to Maine, where advocates are looking to garner support for a new passenger rail service between Portland and Bangor. 24 years ago, a similar effort took place which resulted in the Amtrak Downeaster service extending to Maine. The proposed rail line would utilize an existing CSX right-of-way to transport passengers from Portland to Orono via Auburn, Lewiston, Waterville, and Bangor. The service passes through Maine's 3 largest municipalities, with over 130,000 people living in Portland, Lewiston, and Bangor combined. But the Maine DOT is against the proposal, largely due to the cost to initiate service and the anticipated subsidization. Currently, Downeaster service requires an annual subsidy of $17 million, and MDOT claims that the relatively low transit demand and high costs makes it imprudent to continue the study at this time. While a new rail line looks to be taking place in Maine, in Minnesota there's a line that looks to be reaching the end of its life. The Northstar line is a commuter rail route that runs 40 miles from Big Lake to downtown Minneapolis, with 7 stations. Prior to the pandemic, service was operated daily, on weekends, and on holidays, with the system seeing an all-time record of 793,000 riders in 2017. Post-pandemic, however, the system has barely scraped 130,000 riders in 2024, and service is now down to just 4 round trips per weekday, with no weekend service at all. Over the last month, after a bill introduced by Republican senators in the state house, Minnesota DOT and the Metropolitan Council, operator of the Northstar, has started the process to terminate rail operations and explore transitioning to bus service. In San Jose, the strike at VTA's light rail and bus system has continued into its 2nd week, and this Wednesday marks the 10-day mark without any light rail or bus service in the San Jose area. On Saturday, VTA approached Governor Gavin Newsom with a request to intervene with the strike by appointing a board of investigation, after 1,500 employees of the ATU walked out of work due to wage mismatches. In the Pacific Northwest, legislation has passed the Washington State House to improve Amtrak Cascades service. Amtrak Cascades is the train route of the Pacific Northwest, linking Washington, Oregon, and Vancouver, Canada. The service, which currently sees 7 different round trips operating along the corridor, would see service more than doubled if the bill passes the Washington State Senate. The bill calls for a minimum of 14 daily round trips between Seattle and Portland, and 5 between Seattle and Vancouver, up from the current counts of 3 between Seattle and Portland and 1 between Vancouver and Seattle. The bill also aims to reduce travel times by anywhere from 45 minutes to almost 2 hours through various infrastructure improvements along the corridor. For our last piece of news in the United States, we'll move to New Jersey, where New Jersey Transit has announced the imminent beginning of the construction of the Meadowlands Transitway, which connects Secaucus Junction with MetLife Stadium and the Meadowlands Sports Complex. Ahead of the FIFA Club World Cup this upcoming summer and the FIFA World Cup next summer, New Jersey Transit has been tasked with heavily improving transit to and from the complex. Currently, one rail line shuttle runs between Meadowlands and Secaucus Junction on special event days, able to handle 12,000 people per hour. With this plan, a separated transitway would run from Secaucus to MetLife, allowing for buses to have their own roads to move people to and from the complex, and would be able to move an additional 12,000 people per hour. While the agency is waiting for a grant from the FRA to begin building, President Kaluri is optimistic that it will be complete before the World Cup gets underway in the summer of 2026. And to round off the episode, we'll go to our first piece of news in Europe. In France, Alstom and SNCF, the state-owned national railway company, unveiled the interiors for their new TGV M trains that will operate along the TGV high-speed rail network in France. The TGV Ms are bi-level passenger trains designed and produced by Alstom, expected to operate up to a maximum of 200 miles per hour along France's extensive high-speed network. The TGV M train is known as the Avelia Horizon to Alstom and falls under the Avelia high-speed train set family. The word Avelia will likely sound familiar to Americans. A separate train set in the Avelia family is the Avelia Liberty, the next generation high-speed train set expected to run on Amtrak's Acela service on the Northeast Corridor within the next few years. And with that, we come to a close in today's This Week in Transit episode. If you enjoyed and want this series to continue weekly, be sure to like and subscribe. Comment below if I missed any big developments. Thank you for watching today. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.